Let's talk a little bit about networking in Kubernetes, and we'll focus more on pod-to-pod networking. We'll also see how networking is defined at cluster level by reading the documentation. So prior to initializing the Kubernetes cluster, the network must be considered, and IP conflicts should be avoided, which we will see when we'll deploy our own networking. There are several pod networking choices in varying levels of development and feature set. Many of the projects will mention the container network interface, which is a CNCF project. Several container runtimes currently use a CNI as a standard to handle deployment management and cleanup of network resources. CNI will become more popular in the coming days. There are different choices for pod networking, and some of them are Calico, KubeRouter, Flannel, ViewNet. The cloud providers have their own. We'll see some of them. Let's see what Kubernetes says about cluster networking. So let's move to the documentation page. Okay. So when we talk about cluster networking, Kubernetes says that there can be four distinct networking problems to address. The first one is highly coupled container to container communication. And this is achieved by pods. Inside the pods, the container can communicate with each other using the local host. Next is pod to pod communication, which is handled by CNI. Next one is pod to service communication, and this is handled by kubeproxy. So what happens when you want to create a pod to service communication? You create a kubeproxy maps the endpoints and the service IP, and that is how we can communicate whenever we go for curl the pod service IP, that is the virtual IP of the service. We are redirected to the pods. So that is handled by kubeproxy. External to service communication is also handled by ingress, and that is also covered in the service sections of the Kubernetes documentation, which you can see here. So there are different networking models available, and if you just scroll down below, you'll see that there is ACI given by Cisco, and AWS VPC CNI for Kubernetes, and they uses ENI, and we have Azure CNI for Kubernetes, and lots of services are there. There is a Cilium, it is also open source, and the beauty of Cilium is that it works at layer 7. So that's a very good feature in Cilium. Calico works at layer 3, which we'll see later in this video. So cloud providers have their own, and we have a Flannel, which is very simple overlay network that satisfies the Kubernetes requirements. That's easy, but it lacks some of the features. We have Google Compute Engine; they have their own bridge networking solution. We have KubeRouter, and it is purposely built networking solution for Kubernetes, and that aims to provide high performance and operational simplicity. So we have another networking solution, one of the famous one, and that is Project Calico, which we are going to definitely discuss. And we have a ViewNet. So ViewNet is a resilient and simple to use network for Kubernetes, and it's hosted application. And we can deploy ViewNet as a daemon set. So that's the beauty of Kubernetes, right? So each node can have their own ViewNet component. Next, let's go back to our slides and see what are the different Kubernetes resources available to us. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Calico. So Calico is a flat layer 3 network which communicates without IP encapsulation. It is used in production with software such as Kubernetes, OpenShift, Docker, Mesos, and OpenStack. It is viewed as a simple and flexible networking model, and it scales well for larger environments. So it is suitable for production. For more details, you can definitely go to Project Calico web page and see how you can set up your own Calico environment. Next, we have Flannel. Flannel is a layer 3 IPv4 network between the nodes of a cluster. It is developed by CoreOS, and it has long history with Kubernetes. So it was one of the earlier solutions for overlay networking. It is focused on traffic between hosts, not how containers configure local networking. It can use one of the several backend mechanisms such as VXLAN. A FlannelD agent on each node allocates subnet leases for the host. While it can be configured after deployment, it is much easier prior to any nodes being added. It does not implement network policy, and you can learn more about Flannel from the GitHub pages. Next, we have KubeRouter, which is actually created by Kubernetes community, and this is a very lightweight and fast feature. So it is a single binary which claims to do it all. The project is in the alpha stage, but promises to offer a distributed load balancer, firewall, and router purposely built for Kubernetes. For more details, you can visit the KubeRouter webpage. And that was all about the Kubernetes networking. Let me show you one more thing before ending this video, and that is a CNI. What is CNI and how that works? So CNI is the container networking interface, and it solves a lot of problems that earlier happened in Kubernetes. Now we can actually, that's just a plugin. We can use networking as a plugin, right? Using the CNI, it extends our usability of different networking. And earlier it was tightly coupled, networking was tightly coupled, but now it is very loosely coupled, and we can change our networking as per our need. It has a very good explanation here, means in the Kubernetes, and that is itself given in the documentation that you can, these are the two videos which you can, I would suggest you to go for understanding the Kubernetes and how is networking look like. So let me give you a brief about how networking is. There is a runtime, Kubernetes runtime environment, and you add the plugin. That is, suppose you want to add a VNet or any plugin in a CNI, and that manages the whole networking, right? So this is how it works, and you can watch the complete video for more information about CNI, and I'll definitely attach the links in the document in the description below. Thank you. That was all for this video.